go ahead.
Hey, Greg. How do you sort of process the last 10 minutes of that game? You're up 2-1, and then you're hitting two goals there, and sort of had the trophy sort of snatched away from you there.
Yeah, I thought the effort by the group for 95 minutes was excellent. I thought came out in the second half just a touch passive. We needed to maintain a little bit of aggression, but I think we regained it after going 1-1. And yeah, we get down the stretch at 2-1. I thought the call on Miro was harsh. What led to I didn't to see it again, but I thought it was harsh. I thought he got the ball. I felt like the ref maybe felt like he needed to even something out because I'll start off by saying congratulations to Toluca. They are a good team. But the amount of chaos on the field is total nonsense. It's so disrespectful to the game. It's disrespectful to the environment. It's disrespectful to CONCACAF and the spectacle that this game is supposed to be, two championship teams playing each other. And the chaos that they created is just not right. And I commend our guys for staying out there while they lifted the trophy because we showed them respect when they showed the game disrespect the whole game. And I think that needs to be said. Congratulations for them winning. It's not about winning and losing. For me, it's about just respecting the game. Inside of that, we fumbled in the last 5 minutes. We had, as I said to the guys, we had a shot across the bow when they scored on a set piece, and we got an offsides call on that one. And that should have been the wake-up call for us for every other set piece that we had to defend down the stretch. And it ends up being 2 goals off of set pieces. Second phase off for the corner. I think we're breaking out for the transition instead of dealing with the second phase, which is eerily reminiscent in some ways of Houston last year at the end of the season when we had a chance to win the Western Conference Final, and we don't see out the details. At the end, we cheated, and it cost us. And the second one, we don't deal with a mark. We don't get pressure on the ball to prevent or at least disrupt the service, and we get beat in the mark. So I feel like a lot of work got thrown into the bin in the last 5 minutes off of, as I said to them, 2 set situations. It wasn't the run of play. It was 2 set situations where your responsibilities are to win your duels and to see out the second phase of things. So disappointing. Disappointing for the guys. As I said, they've endured a tough season, and this was a chance to, again, take something happy out of the season, and it ends up being the reverse in the last 5 minutes of the game. So disappointing.
On those moments, there's no back on the line, there's guys marking. I mean, who draws the blame in those situations, or is there blame to throw around?
Well, I think a lot of times, and it depends on the situation. So in the second phase of one, there's guys who are responsible for dealing with the top of the box in the second phase. It looked like we weren't doing that. It looked like we were creeping out maybe and trying to get on the break or get out instead of making sure that we were dealing with the top of the box. That responsibility might change or adjust depending on if it's a right side or left-sided corner kick. On the last one, for me, it's again, it's in the chaos and in the emotion of it all. You still have to see out your responsibilities and get there and do things fast. We didn't do a good job of dealing with the short. We kind of got caught where we didn't get the second guy out. So I think it was Gabe was kind of backing out in the 2 versus 1 that allows them to get close and just rip a ball across the face of our goal. And then it's about dealing with your duels and your marks. And it looked like we got out-dueled in the back post. I didn't see anything more significant than a ball whipped in and us losing kind of a battle at the back post, and they redirected in the goal.
Hey, Greg. How would you describe what's going on in the locker room now? How they're dealing with this?
Yeah, highly disappointed. They put a lot of focus and energy and hope into this game and the opportunity to win a trophy this season, understanding that there isn't going to be a playoffs. So, yeah, guys are disappointed, gutted. Again, it's an uppercut at the end of the fight that kind of knocked us out. So it takes a while to process it. If you lose in most of the game or the whole game, then you kind of process it the game concludes, but it just all happened pretty late at the end.
Got 3 games left. How do they move on from here, and how important is it to not finish last?
Yeah, I mean, that was part of the message at the end. This is now, I think the end of games like this today are a test of character and a test of competitiveness and pride, and seeing games out, I think, is something that challenges you when you're tired and you have to answer the call in some of these situations. So is it to have to bounce back from tough games like today and understand that we still have 3 games that are important to us. They're going to be very important to the team that we play because they're playing for a playoff spot. And it's about character, about showing up and having pride and competing with these last 3 games to finish in a better position than last. I mean, that's what we're playing for, and that's something that this team, I don't feel like that we should be in that position. We need to fight our way through this. But it's going to take us regrouping quick and getting out there, and Dallas has always been a difficult place to play. So it's going to be us, again, regrouping and find the guys who are ready to go.
Hey Greg, the chaos sort of aside, the intensity of this match was high level. What you expected from that, and can you learn from that as well?
Yeah, I loved it. That's why I love these games. And you know, anytime a trophy's on the line, that's what you want to expect is high intensity, high speed. It had the life of a real playoff game or a real final type of game. Obviously that is driven by emotion as well, and I thought it wasn't quite as intense until the emotional part started to kick in. Somewhere close to halftime, mid first half, halftime started to, maybe when we scored even, the game started to pick it up. And so I think there's definitely stuff to take away for guys who got to play in this game. There's something that is that they can feel, but again, I feel like it's hard. You always learn things from every game, but championship games or trophy games are games to win. There's not a lot of things that you want to take away. You know, you take away the frustration of the moment, and maybe you learn from that. But the intensity was fantastic, and that's why I commend our group, because we matched the intensity. We did a lot of things well, and we put ourselves in a position to win the game, and we just couldn't see it out.
And then maybe if we could pull one guy out of this, but Elijah Winder, a young kid who really, I think, maybe has grown a lot this year, gets to start in that central midfield position. What did you see from him?
I thought he did a nice job of finding the tempo of the game, first of all. I think that's always tough when you haven't played in a lot of games that are of that intensity level. I thought he did a nice job of finding it. I think he showed, again, his physical qualities to ride challenges, sometimes get himself to protect the ball, get himself out of situations, find passes. Again, I think defensively he did a nice job of being next to Eddie and working together with them. So I think he showed tonight the progress that he's made, and that he is, you know, he can hang in these high intensity moments like tonight, and that he's ready for more. So we've seen real progress with him. I think the first half of the season and change, his head was spinning, and I think he'll probably tell you the same. And then as he got to witness more games, and also the emotion that we were going through as a group in the first year is always difficult for players who are new. And so once things started to stabilize for our group as a whole, I think it helped the new guys to kind of settle in. And he was also very much learning and understanding what the roles were like to play in that pivot position. And I think tonight he showed that he's made great progress through the course of the season, and I look forward to his continued growth. So it's sometimes just going to be now recognizing different situations and solutions. There was moments where I felt like he could communicate to guys around him that would have solved the problem a little bit easier and a little sooner, and he'll get those things. But he physically and emotionally, and he did a great job. I thought he was excellent.
Hey Greg, thank you for your time. You mentioned the chaos of this game. The opponent, their coach gets sent off, the assistants are getting yellows. It feels like maybe they're running on fumes a bit. Towards the end, did you just feel like maybe your team, I don't want to say they didn't have the mentality or mindset, but maybe they weren't at that level where Toluca was at, given how high the emotions were at? Did you think that played a factor in what happened in the last 10 minutes? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it could. It's, you see it in a lot of games where the team that's losing has nothing to lose at that point, and they just throw everything at it, and you've got to be able to absorb some of that and find your way out of it. I thought in the process of absorbing some of that, we made some interesting choices, like backheeling a ball back into the field that then I think gets lost and maybe even turns into the set piece that turns into the goal. I just think we made some few details and few choices that made us vulnerable, and we paid for it down the stretch. When you know they're going to throw everything at you there at the end. Again, I didn't think the Amiro call was a foul. That also put momentum back on us because we were out going the other way, I think, in that. And so, you get that into the other half of the field, and you have the chance of maybe killing off another 30, 45 seconds, a minute, different things. Maybe you take the steam out of their sails a little bit, and unfortunately it ends up in the back of net. That brought even more momentum on us. And so, yeah, I also think when we gave up the second goal, the response isn't what I was hoping for from the group, which is you still have everything to play for in that moment. I saw dejection, and you have to let that go real fast, and we have to step up as leaders and as guys who are still understanding that there was everything to play for the last 3 minutes. And I felt like the look wasn't what I would have wanted to see from our group, which is lifting each other up and going to fight for these last 3 minutes. Put yourself in a position to win in a shootout or something. I thought we looked a little bit defeated, and because of it, we took the next goal.
Hey, Greg, thank you so much for talking about that. Kind of to dovetail off of that, you spoke earlier in the season about mentality. You just shared with us, that you thought the team looked dejected. Can you talk to us about the mentality to, go ahead and let that lead slip in the last 10 minutes and what you might have wanted to see different? Thank you.
Yeah, look, I think we have a fair amount of players who are out there who play the game, and they play hard, and they're good soccer players, but they're very quiet individuals. And I think when you get into finals, you have to be bold, you have to be present, you have to get on top of each other, there's a different mentality when it comes down to seeing some of these games out, and I felt like that was a little bit of what we saw at the end, because in finals, a lot of times you have to go through adverse moments in it, and you've got to stay strong, and you've got to come out of it, and you've got to lift each other out of it, and I felt like that was a moment where, okay, something bad happened to us, but what is our response, and who's picking us up? And it's not about one guy, it's got to be 4, 5 guys, 6 guys getting the other guys locked in, and I feel like we went into a shell a little bit of, again, emotion. And as we said, this game, with all the craziness going on, you have to separate the emotion and stay focused on the details of the game and put the emotion out of it. And that includes emotion of goals for, goals against, all that kind of stuff. Celebrate, and then immediately right back into it. Okay, you take the goal, immediately right back into it. And I felt like I said, after the second goal, I felt the wrong sort of response. I think everybody can feel it. But by the time that ball kicks off again, everybody has to be on to the next thing. And I felt like we were still living in it a little bit of that moment.
Did they maybe respect your opponent a little bit too much?
Yeah, I don't know if it's that. I genuinely, just knowing kind of our group, I think, again, when I look out and who's going to be out there, there's a few guys that I really expect to kind of be those guys for us. And then I think there's some younger guys out there who probably aren't going to be those guys in those moments. And the question is, like, the guys who are veterans and have been in these types of situations need to grab the young guy, shake them, and let's get going. But I didn't see that response, and that's what we needed. I was yelling at the top of my lungs on the sideline, just trying to get them to emotionally reset and be ready to go. And I felt like we just weren't kicking that in gear the way we needed to. And I think sometimes when you're going through a difficult year, that emotion can sit too close to you. And I don't know if that was here we go, this season is doing it to us again, but we don't have time for that. And that maybe is just me overthinking it, but you gotta live in that moment, and you gotta bounce back. And I felt like we just didn't do the right job in that situation.
If there are no other questions in the room, we'll go to one last question on Zoom. Adrian Rodriguez, go ahead.
Hi, thank you so much. What's up, Mr. Levin and Siders? How are you living this committed to that they can turn the page and go for MLS? Thank you so much.
Similar question, right? Just about turning the page
Yeah.
in MLS.
Yeah, again, I think similar to the way we took a goal late and it became 2-2. It's the same type of situation. We just took a hard loss and our emotion is going to be bad. I think tonight everybody should feel like crap and that's normal. I think we all will. Not that I think they should, but I think they will. I think we all will feel horrible on how it ended and we had the opportunity to win. But by the time we wake up and get through training tomorrow and get on a plane here in the next couple of days, it needs to be behind us and we need to be focused on what's in front of us. You can't change those situations anymore. So it's time to move on and regroup. And like I said, we'll have a tough opponent. It's a tough place to play and we're going to have to be ready to go.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg. Thank you, Greg.
We'll have players available to media next Saturday, everything.
Rob, you want this?
Just a reminder, there will be Galaxy